Welcome back to the vlog. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to be playing at Capital Casino. 1-3 game as usual. I'm going to be making some short videos. I made a few of just like individual hands that did not make the vlog. I was thinking about doing maybe some poker tips for low limit players. If you guys are interested in that, please leave a comment below and I'll see if I can make it happen. Anyway, sit back, relax, enjoy. Here it comes. All right, first interesting hand of the day. There's a player who opens for $12 in front of me. I make it 40 with 2 queens from the low jack. It's folded back around to the player in the small blind. He has about $250 in his stack, and when it gets to him, he decides just to shove all in. Of course, it's folded back to me, and I have to decide what to do. This type of player, he's only doing this with aces or kings, and let's face it, he's not doing it with kings. So I go ahead and I throw it in the muck, and he shows 2 aces. All right, I'm in the big blind. I got 2 kings, bunch of limpers. I decided to raise 20 more. Probably could have gone a little bit bigger than that, but we do get 2 callers, so that's a pretty good number to go against. So with $75 in, we head off to a flop. Flop comes out 10-10-3 with 2 hearts. Pretty good flop overall. If we're not up against a 10, we probably have a pretty good situation. I decided to check it. I don't think there's any harm giving away a free card on this board. Turn card comes as an 8 of diamonds. The player to my right bets for 50. He only has like another $50 or $60 behind. Here, I just decided to call. If he is bluffing or betting a smaller pair than kings, which is likely, I want him to continue the barrel. River card comes as a deuce of hearts. Not ideal. He kind of hesitates for a little bit and then goes all in. Kind of feels like he made a flush here, but not much I can do with that pot size. I only have to be right about 1 in 5 times. And he does show the ace-8 of hearts. Do you ever have one of those days where you should just stay in bed and not go to the casino? Yeah, this looks like one of them. Well, big pairs haven't been working. Let's try some suited connectors. I'm in the small blind this time. There were a bunch of limpers. I raised to 20. I end up getting 2 callers. So we're going to end up going 3 ways to this particular flop with $69 in the center. We get a flop of queen 9-10 with 1 club. So we got bottom pair, a gut shot, and a backdoor flush draw. Probably shouldn't be betting this, but I decided to go ahead and fire away. And you know what? I get called. What a surprise. It did take him a while to call, and he doesn't seem too comfortable. And he was the under the gun player, and he limped in, so I don't think he's very strong. The other player folds out, so I'm going to go ahead and continue as long as I catch a good card, and the 2 of clubs is as good as I can really ask for. So I got a backdoor flush draw now. I'm going to size up, put the pressure on. I bet $80. He doesn't think too long and ends up letting it go. So we got one through. All right, the game's starting to get a little wild, and I've been completely card dead for the last hour and a half. Haven't had anything to really play. Here I get 2 threes from the +1 position and put the raise to 15. It's folded around to a player who makes it 45. He is a very aggressive player, action player, and I'm definitely going to be calling, even though I really don't think I'm getting the correct odds to do so. I only have 325 in my stack. So usually I like to be a little bit deeper when I accept mine, but I'm pretty sure he has a big hand, and if I happen to hit my set, I'm going to get paid off. Flop comes 9-7-3. Good flop. I check to him. He ends up betting for $45. It's time to get some money in there. I want to get enough money in there where he's really pot committed, and I don't want to scare him off. We kind of had a little banter as this hand went by, and he might be putting me on some sort of flush draw by some of the things I said. So I'm going to go ahead and put in a raise, make it 80 more. And once he calls, then I can go ahead and jam the turn. So here goes my 125. He gets a quick count and makes a quick call. Once he puts in the call, then I know he's going to be calling on the turn. So just looking for a blank. He puts in the money, and we get to see a turn card, which is a jack of clubs. Not a very good turn card because I put him on hand like jacks, queens, kings. Anyway, I shove. He snap calls. I tell him that I flopped a set, and he says, "Oh, nice hand." We can see a clean run out of a 5 of hearts. He did have pocket queens. So, yeah, I got a little bit lucky on that one. So here we have a $6 straddle, and we got 7 players calling. So it's kind of like a $6 bomb pot. We got a suited ace looking for flopping a flush or something like it. And we get a flop of 10-8-6 with 1 spade. Definitely not good enough for us to bet. There could be someone with a very big hand already. It gets checked around to an aggressive player who leads for $15. Well, for $15, it's definitely worth taking a look at. Plus, I get a couple other people stringing along with their calls. So we ended up calling and seeing a turn card that came 7 of spades. So we pick up the nut flush draw. There's basically a straight sitting on the board, and I have several opponents. I'm sure one of them has it. It's checked all the way around to the button who bets $45. Pretty small bet. I'm definitely going to be calling with my flush draw. Hopefully I can spike something. He is the type of player that will probably pay you off if you fire into him when you make your hand. I get one other player calling from the hijack also. So the 3 of us are going to see the river card. And the card is a 7 of clubs. So we missed our flush. We're going to be check folding this for sure. I check it. The player in the hijack who called the last of it shoves all in for $300 and something. And the player on the button says, well, it's only $300 and something. And he goes ahead and puts in the call. Player in the hijack actually showed that he had 7-6 offsuit for a full house. And the other player on the button showed that he had a 9 for a straight. If I would have caught a spade, I'm sure I would have got paid off. We're in the cutoff with 9-8 of spades. There was a $6 straddle. I just limp after several limpers, and the player on the button puts in a raise to $35. And not an ideal situation having the raiser behind me, but we got a couple callers in front of us. We're getting pretty good odds. Hopefully we can flop something nice like a straight or a flush. I put in the call, so we're going to go to the flop with 150 in. Flop comes out King 8-6 with 1 spade. So second pair, we got some backdoor straight and flush draws. First player, donk leads into the field for $40. Usually he does this with a weak king. So I'm thinking that's what he has, he's trying to figure out where he's at. The other player puts in the call. I think if he had anything stronger than a king, he would raise. So I'm going to go ahead and take one off. I'm a little worried about the player behind me making a big raise, but he just ends up putting in the call also. We get a dream turn card when it comes 8 of clubs. So we make trips. And we have this player in the first position leading into us again. This time for $50. Another small bet into a big pot. The player to his left decides to fold, and now it's on to me. I decide just to put in the call, make it look like I have a king and I'm just trying to call him down. All right, the main reason I just put in the call is I think my opponent behind me is really interested in this pot. So I'm thinking he has a hand like ace-king, maybe pocket aces, hopefully not pocket sixes, or possibly the other 8. He has raised with good hands, and he's also raised with suited connectors when he's in position. So 7-8 of hearts and 9-8 of hearts are not out of the question. If he has either a 7-8 or 9-8, he will call my raise. But he has ace-king, he might be able to get away from it. If he had pocket aces, he might be able to get away from it. He ends up deciding to raise to $200. So I still don't know whether he has the other 8 or whether he's doing this with ace-king or pocket aces, or the dreaded pocket sixes. The other opponent in the middle position thinks for a while, and decides to put in the call for the extra $150. Now, I am like 99% sure this guy has just a king. So the question is, what do I do with my hand now? Do I get it all in? Or do I slow play it one more street? I'm a little worried that if a club came off and I was to go ahead and fire, that I wouldn't get any action. So I decided just to stick it in now. If someone had pocket sixes or the other 8, they're going to be calling. There's nothing I'm going to do. I'm just going to lose a big pot. If they have a hand like ace king or pocket aces, they might talk themselves into a call, thinking that I might be doing this with a hand like king queen or king jack. My opponent on my left thinks for a while and decides on letting it go. He later told me that he had ace king and he made a very tough laydown. I do believe him. I've seen him make a similar fold earlier in the day. So once he lays down his hand, I'm pretty sure that he did not have an 8, of course, and he probably had a hand like ace king, which means there was only one more king left in the deck to beat me if this opponent also had a king. So I'm kind of rooting for a call at this point, hoping that he would put some more money in. And he thinks for a while and finally decides to make the call. So my opponent sticks it in. Now we just have to dodge a king. River card comes. 8. We make quads. Woo. Feels good to win a big pot. And I'm glad that player on my left did not raise the flop. If he did, I probably would have been forced to fold and miss out on this huge pot.
I'm glad I got out of bed now.
We ended up playing for about another half hour. Didn't really pick up anything after this pot. So we cash out for $1,400. We were in for 5. That makes a $900 profit, which is pretty good by my book. So after a rough start, I was able to hang in there, make a couple of hands. Pocket threes was a big one. And of course, this last hand was a really big one. Very happy that my opponent on the button didn't put in a big raise on the flop. If he did, I was probably going to be forced to fold. Anyway, I really do appreciate you guys watching the vlogs. As I said, I'm going to be making some short videos. I decided to try something a little bit different. Tell me how you like it when you see a short. Anyway, until next time, good luck at the tables, and see you soon.